Good evening, black people and all allies fighting for black liberation, black prosperity, and black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and welcome to Prime. In a shocking turn of events, the two prosecutors leading the Manhattan District Attorney's criminal investigation into Donald Trump's business deals resigned today. The reason why is a mystery. According to the New York Times, the resignations came after the new Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, the first black person to lead the powerful office, indicated to them that he had doubts about moving forward with the case against Mr. Trump. Mr. Bragg hasn't given any indication why he had doubts about the investigation that he inherited. A spokesperson for the Manhattan DA's office said that the investigation remains ongoing. But prosecutors have not brought evidence before the grand jury in at least a month, the Times reported. Now time is running out on the high-stakes investigation. The grand jury's term is up in April, and it is highly unusual for prosecutors to impanel a brand new grand jury. Oddly enough, the pause on the Manhattan investigation follows an escalation in the other criminal inquiry into Donald Trump, which also happens to be run by a black district attorney. Last month, a judge approved the Atlanta DA's request to impanel a grand jury to investigate Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. The parallel civil inquiry into Trump's financial practices has also been heating up. Just last week, the New York Attorney General received approval from a judge to question Trump and two of his adult children under oath despite Trump's objections. Because Attorney General James's inquiry is civil, her office can only sue Trump and his organization for money and potentially dissolve his business, but she cannot file criminal charges. The Manhattan DA's investigation is now in an hour of uncertainty, and the avenues to hold Trump criminally accountable may be down to one. Joining me now to discuss, Nick Ackerman, former Watergate prosecutor and assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, and Pam Keith, attorney and political strategist. So I'll start with you, Pam. Earlier tonight, a ProPublica reporter tweeted that it's hard to avoid the feeling this investigation was largely a PR effort by Cyrus Vance with a dash of magical thinking. He said that Vance and the two prosecutors played pseudo hardball with the Trump organization's CFO and underestimated the fact that he would not flip. He was basically saying that Bragg's may be taking a fall for something that other people had done in the office. What do you think about that theory?
I'm sorry, Charles. I've got to categorically reject that. Every time you get a new district attorney, every time you get a new head honcho, and they get the opportunity to take a look at ongoing investigations and decide what direction they're going to go. If those investigations are paltry, if they're not sufficient, the answer is not to kneecap the people putting in information in front of a grand jury while they're doing it. It's simply to take a pause, increase the team, increase the investigation, make it stronger if that's the direction in which you want to go. I think the thing that leaps off the page for me is the fact that these two individuals have poured probably, years of work into this case and decided to resign. That is very unusual. That means that their boss basically left them out to dry and created so much internal conflict for them that they would rather walk away than to proceed in that circumstance. So to me, that's what's really telling here, is that he basically didn't have the back of his own people. And that's pretty shocking given the circumstances.
All right, so the mystery remains. So Nick, you also prosecuted tax evasion cases while at the U.S. Attorney's Office in the SDNY. Is there any way that Bragg changed his commitment to investigate because of the parallel investigation by Tish James on the civil side?
No, I don't think there'd be a reason not to do it because of the civil investigation. But clearly, this is a hard case to make. If you're going to go after the President of the United States, which I had done before, I had put together the tax case on Richard Nixon during the Watergate investigation for our office. And basically, we had witnesses who were going to testify against Nixon. And he wasn't prosecuted because he was pardoned by President Ford. But I think there was a serious question about whether we would go after a president, a former president, based on witness testimony. In this case, with respect to the DA's investigation, you had Weisselberg that the DA's office was trying to flip. Even if Weisselberg were to testify, You're still dealing with a witness who had every motive to lie, to finger Trump simply because he was trying to avoid his own jail time. And you really would have to have extremely strong, independent evidence to corroborate somebody like Weisselberg if you were going to go ahead with a prosecution of an individual who's a former president of the United States. You just have to have a solid case to go after somebody of that ilk. You just can't do it. You've got to prove specific intent in a criminal tax case. You have to show that Trump intentionally falsified documents. The problem is he probably had his minions all doing this stuff, but nobody's going to finger him. And he doesn't use email. His documents, he either puts them down the toilet or rips them up. So it's a very tough case to make on a tax violation. Now, if you look at the Georgia case, which you had just referenced before, that is a totally different case where you've got Trump on tape recordings, 2 tape recordings, one with the Secretary of State of Georgia, the other with his chief investigator. And that's a case that I think he is most at peril at, because the evidence there is his own words. And when you take the evidence that the January 6th committee has come up with, all of the evidence putting in context what Trump did in Georgia, I mean, that makes for a very powerful prosecution that is greater than the sum of the 2 tapes. So to me, that's where the real possible criminal prosecution lies, not in New York.
Let's take up another issue here. So last week, the New York AG received approval from a judge to question Trump and his 2 children under oath. In court documents, she described several ways the Trump organization appears to have misrepresented the value of their properties. She received blowback from Trump about this and called this a racist attack. Trump also called Bragg's racist and politically motivated. You know, would that be weighing on the prosecutor in addition to what Nick was just talking about? You know, that the case may not have all the things, everything buttoned down enough to go after a president?
I respectfully disagree. I think that we need to keep in mind that there are people rotting in jail on tax evasion claims with far less evidence than is available to the Manhattan DA. We're not talking about one case of tax evasion. We're not even talking about a couple years of fraudulent tax returns. We're talking about decade of carefully crafted duplicity in which they're representing one thing to the IRS and something completely different to entities that were loaning them huge sums of money. So both of those representations cannot be simultaneously true, right? So there had to be not only intent and intention to deceive, but especially for the purpose of evading taxes. Now, I take umbrage with the idea that it is a hard case to make when your tax accountant disavows 10 years of work. Now, again, it's perfectly possible for an accountant to make a mistake once or even twice, but a scheme over decades that saved them millions of dollars in taxes, I just don't buy that this is a tough case to make. It may be complex in the sense of detail and so forth, but in terms of trying to prove intent, you know, I just don't think there's a straight-faced argument that it was accidental. So again, I respectfully disagree with that. I also respectfully disagree with the idea that the president of the United States should be held to a completely different legal standard than every other human in our country, because that does in fact create that divine right of kings that our founding fathers went to great extents to avoid. If anybody should be held to a higher moral and legal standard than every other American, it's the person who swears an oath to the country to uphold the laws of our land. It's sad to me that Donald Trump has been treated as untouchable for as long as he has, because everybody's so afraid of missing, which means nobody actually swings on him at all, which is precisely why he's gotten away with so much criminality for so long.
Nick, let me ask you this. Bragg told reporters last month that he was actually proud of the work that 2 prosecutors had done on the investigation through the transition from Vance's administration to his leadership. So if he's proud of what these prosecutors are doing, what could possibly be the reason that he would pull back from the work they were doing in the middle of them presenting to a grand jury?
Well, it is kind of odd. I have to agree with that. I know Mark Pomerantz. We're both in the U.S. Attorney's Office together. He's an excellent lawyer, lots of integrity, and I don't think he would leave unless there was an issue that he was unable to go forward. I think the reporting on this is probably right. I agree with Pam that there clearly was lots of intent to defraud here. The problem is our system is a system of individual guilt. And in order to convict somebody of tax evasion, you've got to do it beyond a reasonable doubt, and it's individual. So what the government has to do here, whether it's the DA's office or the federal government, you have to prove that Trump actually had that intent. Now, if all you've got is the fact that his accountant did it, you can't go by just supposition. I mean, I kind of think he did it. There's no question in my mind he did it, but there's not enough to convict him beyond a reasonable doubt without having a witness who actually puts the knowledge in his head, or you have documents or tape recordings. And right now, as far as I know, they have none of that. But what's interesting is in the civil case where Trump is going to have to take the Fifth Amendment, that invocation of the Fifth Amendment can actually be used against him in the civil case. So you're going to be able to show intent there a lot easier.
Nick Ackerman and Pam Keith, thank you both for joining me tonight.
I was just going to say, I don't disagree.
We're a bit out of time.
Rotting in jail on less evidence than that, and I think we would both agree on that. That the case, the volume of evidence in this case is extraordinary.
I thank both of you. I kind of ran out of time. But one thing I learned tonight was if I were ever going to cheat on my taxes, I used to get more people in the mix so I wouldn't have individual guilt of having done it myself. Anyway, I think that's what I took away from this discussion. Anyway, thank both of you for being here. Really great conversation tonight.